Hello. Hello. Let's do a live stream. Um, um, all right, what's up? I am going out of town. I probably have to say this again if more people come. I'm going out of town in a couple days. So I decided to go ahead and stream today because I won't be able to stream Sunday or Monday, I don't think. It's possible that I may be able to do like a quick stream on Monday, but I definitely won't be at my computer. I can try to stream from my phone. I've tried to stream from my phone before and it didn't work. So I don't know. But I wanted to get better about not missing streams, so I wanted to go ahead and do it while I can. I'm trying to get back into my sort of normal groove after after my computer stopped working and I was like kind of off for a month. I just lost my entire groove, and I'm trying to get, in fact, I'm trying to make it even better than it was before. Yeah, I'm going to the beach, or at least that's the plan. Planning to go to the beach for a few days. Should be fun going with a bunch of friends. Should be a nice little vacation. Not that I like specifically need a vacation, but it's nice to get out of the house and, you know, I think it's good for your mental health just to get out of the house. I think that vacations are underrated. Like, I feel like they're like necessary for mental health. Like, I know some people that just like, they just work nonstop. They either work nonstop or they just kind of sit around and just sort of like watch Netflix all day, every day. And I mean, that's fine, but like eventually you gotta get out the house and do something. Like, I feel like that's how you like get into sort of like a spiral of just not feeling okay. I don't think it's been a minute since I've streamed on a Friday, so I'm not sure like how it's gonna go. Hello everyone. Hello Conra. Hello Andrew. Hello George. What do I think of MidCon, MythCon, and should it be confronted? Should it be confronted? What do you mean, should it be confronted? I sort of like have not really followed the whole MythCon thing. I from the beginning I sort of disagreed with their whole the whole idea behind the whole thing. And there are also like several people who are supposed to be sort of like featured speakers at MythCon that I would rather not be associated with. So that's why I sort of stopped. I didn't really pay any attention to it. They actually invited me to speak at MythCon, and I said no. But just the whole idea of it just sort of was like, okay, yeah, this is dumb. So I kind of stepped back from it and stopped paying attention. I mean, they can have MythCon. Like, I don't think that it should not exist. Like, that's not my place to tell someone they can't have a convention. But, you know, I think each person has to make a decision for themselves. I think that there are some cases, I don't even know who's like supposed to be the speakers at this point. In some cases, I think that there are people who have no business being given a platform. And in other cases, I think that people are overreacting. And there are some people who I tend to sort of agree with on things that have decided to attend either as speakers or guests or attendees. And there are other people who have decided not to. I don't really agree with trying to shut the thing down or trying to tell people not to go. I don't really agree with that, but I make my own decision. And other people can make their decision. I think, see, the problem is the organization that runs MythCon, they've sort of fallen into the whole they've sort of fallen into the sort of reactionary fucking mindset about things, which I don't think is the way to go. It almost seems like they're operating specifically to sort of be edgy and to like specifically because like there are people that I think that they've invited specifically because they are controversial, and that's not really the way to be. It sort of reminds me of the Sam Harris thing where he like talks to people that he knows aren't right simply because it helps his narrative about about people being silenced and shit like that. And I think that's what they're doing too. You know, they talk about free speech and shit like that. And I just think that's a really stupid thing to base a whole event around. And it's a dangerous thing. But I don't know. Like I said, some people that I like are going to be there. So, you know, Godspeed to them. Is Sargon gonna be there? I think he is, isn't he? I'm trying to find the speakers, invited speakers. Anyway, I don't really watch much anime. A lot of people have been suggesting anime to me. growing up, I've always thought that anime was really like dumb and confusing and esoteric and sort of like had poor pacing. But I was talking to someone and they suggested that the reason that I don't like that I've grown up not liking anime is because the only animes that I watched growing up were shonen type anime, and there are lots of other kinds of anime that may be more appealing to me. Or animes based on shonen manga, I guess is more precise. Anime, not animes. Anyway, so I don't know, maybe I'll try some of these other things out. And I think probably the quality of these shows has increased over the years. So, you know, the shows that were around when I was like a kid are probably not as good as some of the stuff that's coming out today. Electric Low Main, thank you for the $3.99. Kev, you get that debit card sorted out? Not really. I had to file a dispute with my bank, and I'm still waiting for them to investigate it and tell me the results. I assume that I will eventually get my money back because this has happened a couple times before, and I always get the money back eventually, but it might take a few days, if not a few weeks. Most sucks, but some is great. Yeah, I mean, you can say that about anything, I guess. But the thing is, my experience with anime is like it seems like the it's like part of the definition of the style of anime is like unappealing to me. Like they're always like really slow paced. They're always like really like confusing and bizarre and weird. Well, and it's not, you know, being weird is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like it's to the point where you're like, I don't understand what's going on really. And that seems to be like definitive of the genre of anime. What's your opinion on Jordan Peterson? People always ask me about Jordan Peterson. Mostly I just think he's a clown, to make a long story short. And that could just be my sort of sensibilities. The anime thing could just be sort of me being used to Western cartoons. And maybe if I was more into the culture, I would be into it more, but I don't know. What did I think of the Alabama game? It was about what I expected. Well, actually, I didn't expect Alabama to win so hard. They won pretty hard. What do you think about absolute free speech that's honored in this country? In Germany, I think it's illegal to give Nazi salutes. I prefer freer speech. I don't think it should be illegal to give Nazi salutes. But obviously it can't be completely absolute. Like, I don't think we have absolute free speech. There are obviously things you can't say, like you can't threaten people, you can't harass people, you can't incite or like say things that put people directly in danger, things like that. But I think that free expression is very, very important. So I agree more with the way that America does it than with the way Germany does it. From Alabama but live in Louisville. Love being able to rub that in here. Hell yeah. And there's a lot of like classic anime that is just like super boring to me, and I just don't get it. Like they usually have like a really slow pace, or they not necessarily a slow pace, but like just really uneven sporadic pacing. Like it'll be like really intense and high energy for like 5 minutes, and then like 20 minutes of just like boring nothing. Like literally 20 minutes of two characters standing still talking. And it's like, what is going on? I mean, that's another thing. Like, with Germany, like they have a different history than America, so obviously they're gonna react to things differently. In a vacuum, though, I prefer the way America does it. And I'm not saying we do it perfectly. I just said I'm closer to it. But obviously, complete like free speech has its issues, and you have to think about that. And free speech can be weaponized, which I think is what's happening. Electric Low Main, thank you for $5.
How do you think your year as a YouTuber has gone so far? Would you say you're on track with your goals this year? Do you feel YouTube is still the vehicle for your awesomeness?
Wait, could y'all hear that? This year's been really weird to me. Really weird for me because a lot of stuff has happened. Actually, like the past couple of years have been really weird for me. It's been really hard for me to just actually just get settled and just work, because so many things have been happening. Like I've lived in like 4 different places over the past 3 years. I just had to replace my computer, so I didn't have a computer for a month. I've just moved into a new apartment about a year ago. So a lot of things have happened that has sort of put a dent in my ability to really get settled into doing YouTube and like getting the routine going. But also this year has been my channel started growing again this year, which I've talked about it before, but my channel sort of plateaued for like a good 2 or 3 years. Like I was stuck around, between 87 and 88,000 subscribers for like about 2 years. But this year, thanks in large part to 2 successful videos, my channel sort of like started growing again. So that's good. I think YouTube, well, right now, I think what I need to do really is just get good at making content. And I think YouTube is still going to be the best way for me to do that. It's kind of a hard situation to do. I've been thinking a lot about what I actually, like, what is my long-term goal? Like, what do I want to do? Like, do I just want to make videos and just do that forever? Or do I want to like transition into something else? Like, I've always said that my favorite part of making videos is just the writing and the ideas. So I was like, well, maybe that's the part that I need to focus on. I need to find more writing opportunities. So that's the type of things that I've been thinking about. But like, I'm still in a building phase. And right now I think YouTube is where I need to be focused on, because this is going to be the bridge that helps me get to anything that I want to do. And I still need to get like financially stable. I still need to just get into a routine and a process where I just feel very comfortable with where I'm at, and then I can look to do bigger things. See, I like weird stuff. I like weird movies. I always say the stuff that I like, whether it's movies or shows or music, I like stuff that's weird but also accessible. If something is too weird so as to be not accessible, that's when I stop liking it. But I like stuff that's kind of weird but also accessible. Like last stream, I was talking about how much I like Lorde, the singer. And I think that perfectly describes Lorde. Like she's kind of weird but also very accessible. Or like Outkast, which I think is probably the best rap group of all time. They're kind of weird but also accessible. Chad Atchison, thank you for the $5. Hey to you. What do I do for fun? Are you talking to someone else? Oh yeah. What do I do for fun? Play video games, and I like to socialize with my friends, or just go out, go to bars and socialize. That's mainly what I do for fun. Although I haven't been out in a while, actually. I'm starting to. The thing with me is I am a very social person. Like, I'm very much an extrovert, so I like to be around people. So I like to leave my house and go out and stuff. And I'm also a night owl. I definitely not a morning person. I like to be up at night. So if you combine the fact that I'm a night owl and the fact that I'm an extrovert, I like the nightlife sort of thing. I like to go out. But lately I think I've been sort of outgrowing it. I mean, I still like to be around people, but going out at night can be a pain in the ass, especially if you're going to places where people are drinking. It can become annoying very quickly, and it can also be detrimental to you because it's kind of expensive to go to bars and restaurants and shit all the time. And also, drinking a lot is not good for your health, obviously. And the older I get, the more drinking affects me negatively. Like I get hangovers easier, and I get worse hangovers, things like that. So I've been like less and less inclined to do it, but I still like to hang out with friends and go out and stuff. So I have to find I think I have to find a middle ground on that. Oh, all right, Khan. Sorry, your stream's lagging. Is it lagging for anyone else? Well, thanks for coming to the stream. Well, the thing about it is I like drinking. I don't necessarily want to be the sober one. And in fact, it's like usually not fun if you're the only sober person in the room. But obviously, I have to take care of myself, so we'll have to see. But like I was saying before, I don't know how many people were here. I'm planning to go to the beach. That's why I'm streaming today. For those that didn't hear, I'm going to the beach in a couple of days. It's like a planned trip that we've been planning. Well, I mean, I'm going with some friends that go every year. And that's like I would love to do stuff like that instead of just going to the local bar every weekend. Like, take more. I want to take more trips. Like, obviously, you can't go to the beach every weekend. I mean, I guess you could, but most people aren't going to do that. But I want to take more trips and stuff like that with people that I like hanging out with. Where am I headed to? Like, what beach? I'm going to Floribama. Much like Alabama in general, Floribama, another place that has been maligned by television. It's mostly just a bunch of rich people chilling. Yeah, Gulf Shores is probably the closest beach to where I am, so it's a common place. Like, whenever we want to like make an impromptu trip to the beach, it's always Gulf Shores. I think it's like 3.5 hour drive from Birmingham. But if you like plan a trip, Gulf Shores is like it's sort of like the low budget beach. Like if you want to plan a trip, you want to go somewhere a little nicer. Have I seen any of the Kavanaugh hearing? I've seen like clips and stuff. I haven't, and I was listening to a little bit of it on NPR, but I didn't like listen to it in full. See, I live in the middle of Alabama, and there's a lot of like nature and stuff, but I don't, I can't just like go to the beach whenever I want. But I live close enough to the beach to where if I really want to go, I can go. And I think that's a pretty good situation. And it's interesting because I'm not generally an outdoors person. Like I like to be inside. I like internet and air conditioning. But I do enjoy the beach. Like I don't swim, but I like just being on the beach. It's very pleasant. Especially if you're there with friends. Take a vacation to Thailand. I would love to. Eventually, I'd like to just travel to a lot of different places. Go on a diet. Are you talking to me? Can be almost anywhere with friends and it'd be fun for sure. But if you're somewhere that is awesome, it's more fun. Well, and I kind of have a phobia of getting in large bodies of water in general. So I don't do the water at all. But I like to be around it. Yeah, I guess sand is pretty annoying. But, small price to pay, I think. The beaches in Dublin are very gray and the sand is shit. I haven't been to too many different beaches, to be honest. I've only been to the beaches in the Gulf of Mexico or nearby. I've been to Gulf Shores in Floribama and like Daytona and I think Panama City, this Alabama, Florida area. Have I been to Ireland? I have not. I've not really been anywhere outside of America. I was born in Germany, but I left there when I was like 2, so I don't remember anything about it. And I've also been to Panama when I was a very small child, and I barely remember anything from that. But other than that, I've never been outside the United States. Philosophy Tube stream. Word. Yeah, I was wondering if I was gonna like conflict with the other people's streams since I'm doing on Friday, but it's whatever. You can go watch that if you would like. I will not be offended. What I think of Ollie, I think Ollie is great. I don't know him that well. I don't know him at all actually, and I don't know his videos that well though. I've watched a fair share of his videos, and they're usually good. Well, I mean, they're always good. I don't think I've seen one that I was like, that's not good. I feel like Ollie. All right, George, thanks for coming to the stream. I feel like Ollie is sort of like me, where he sort of has been doing his own thing for a long time. But over time, he sort of found himself characterized as part of this new wave of left tube. And I think the same thing happened to me. Because I've been doing my own thing for a long time, not really affiliated with anyone. But as you share your views and meet people and realize that you have common ideas with other creators, you sort of start to get grouped together. Especially if you like make friends with people and collaborate with people a lot. But that's okay. By the way, I finished. I should probably try to shoot that before I leave, huh? I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Damn. I finished the script for my most recent video, but I don't think that I'm gonna be able to film it until after I come back from the beach, unless I do it tonight. Maybe I'm gonna try to do it tonight, and then you guys can see that my new set that I'm working on. It's not finished, but I've like created a set for the videos. Yeah, Ollie is Philosophy Tube. If you're familiar with the channel Philosophy Tube, it is a channel that is hosted by a man named Ollie, and it's really good. Especially if you're into philosophy and politics and stuff like that. I think the videos have been becoming more political, I guess. I think he's always like dabbled in politics, but I think they're becoming more political, more overtly political. But it's good. I mean, if you like the video essayists on YouTube, you'll probably like him. Like, if you like people like Lindsay Ellis and ContraPoints and H Bomber Guy and stuff like that, you'll probably like his stuff. I'm like really like I'm really hype about this sort of the emergence of left tube. I like what's happening. There's so many like really great channels that are just doing well right now. Do you think Steve Shives, I assume that's what that is too strict in his extreme leftist ways? Well, I don't think that Steve Shives is as extreme a leftist as people think he is. I mean, maybe. I don't even know what you really consider an extreme leftist. Like, for example, Peter Coffin is more extreme a leftist than Steve Shives is. But I don't hear Peter Coffin get nearly the same amount of hatred. Like, literally, the people hate Steve Shives just because he blocked a lot of people. That's like it's like the source of a lot of the hatred for him. I think that there are things that that I don't agree with Steve Shives about. But I mean, you can kind of say that about anybody. Am I blocked by Steve Shives? No. Have I noticed a decrease on YouTube of people worrying about the alt-right? A decrease? No, I think it's increasing more and more, especially as the YouTubers who are talking about it become more and more successful. I think that a lot of people generally I think a lot of these people they sort of get these sort of hyperbolic characterizations of themselves by people. And I think Steve Shives is one of those people where there's just sort of like this mythos around Steve Shives about how he's like some kind of like crazy extremist, but it's just really not supported by anything he's ever said. If you actually pay attention, you can disagree for sure, but you have to also understand what he means. Steve Shives uses block bots. This has always been really funny to me. Like, people are always like, Steve Shives blocked me and I didn't even do nothing. Well, you got blocked by a bot, my friend. Steve Shives probably doesn't know who you are. That's how block bots work. They block you based on certain criteria that is chosen by the person who set it up. So it's almost like kind of just get over yourself. Like, Steve Shives didn't like personally go to 1,000 channels and click block. He's a person who has been subject, not only him, but his family has been subject to mountains and mountains of harassment. And one of the ways that he chose to deal with that is by setting up a block algorithm so that people would just leave him alone. You can disagree with that approach, but to me it's reasonable. And to me it's like like, calm down, you got blocked by a bot. And a lot of times if you contact someone who's using a block bot and you show yourself to be a reasonable individual, they will probably unblock you. But instead people are like, blocked by Steve Shives. And it's like, why do you give a shit if some random dude blocks you anyway? Like, who cares? And yeah, he said that he would shut down all channels that are like Sargons, and I don't particularly agree with that. But saying it as if it's like, have you ever? Do you know why he said that? Have you ever listened to his reasoning for that? If not, then I don't think you have a fair. I don't think you're able to provide a fair criticism of it. Because there's this idea we just like, it's just, we have this extremely cynical outlook of people. We just sort of assume the worst. We assume that they're lunatics who just like, you know, people are just out of their minds. Like, I've talked about this in videos. It's like my theory. It's like the most people aren't lunatics theory. Basically, it's the principle of charity. It's like, how about assume that when someone says something that sounds weird to you, how about you try to figure out why they think that? You may not agree with their reasoning, but they probably have a reason. And it's probably not that hard to understand. And this happens to like so many people. And like, if I sound sort of like dismissive of this, is because I see this stuff all the time. Same thing happened to Francesca Ramsey. Same thing happened to Riley Dennis. Same thing happened to Lacey Green. Like, is this sort of this like hyperbolic mischaracterizations of people's like motivations and things like that? Now, if you were actually bothering someone and they blocked you, then I don't think you should be surprised. And I see that a lot too. People are like, oh, he blocked me. Well, yeah, because you were annoying him on Twitter. Like, there's no rule that says there's a threshold you have to meet before someone blocks you. Like, if you catch someone on the wrong day and you're being a smartass, they might block you, and that's fine. They are well within their rights to do that. But, you know, and I found myself blocked by people before that I've never interacted with before. And that's just how block bots work. I'm not exactly sure. Or it's not even block bots. Sometimes they see you say something to someone else. And it's like, oh, that guy is a shitlord, or that guy's annoying. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively block him. Like, I don't block that many people, but I mute a lot of people. And I preemptively muted Bering. Like, before I had ever had a conversation with him, I was like, this guy kind of sucks and I don't want to hear from him. And I just preemptively muted him. So I assume people do the same thing with blocks. So that's sort of my take on the whole Steve Shives thing. And if you get to know, like, by the way, Steve Shives is a very, very nice, pleasant dude if you like get to know him. In fact, he's like one of the most sort of polite people that I think I've ever communicated with. How much do you think intentions matter when someone says something racist or ableist or even just generally harmful? How much do intentions matter? It just sort of depends on what you're talking about. I think it's false to say that intentions don't matter, but it's also false to say that intentions are everything. As far as, like, for example, like if you hurt somebody, even if you like make somebody feel like shit, or if you like harm someone, or if you make someone's life harder, whether or not you meant to do it, you should feel bad about that, and you should like try not to do that. And you, if you have done that, you should feel bad about that. But also it should be acknowledged that you didn't mean to do it. I think it should be acknowledged. I think it should be treated differently. I think someone who meant to do it versus someone who didn't mean to do it should be treated differently. So, I mean, they both matter, really. I don't even know what Bearing is up to these days. I have not looked at his channel or heard anything from him in maybe like over a year now. Like, people ask me about a lot of these people every now and then, but I really don't keep up anymore. I get a lot of questions on my Curious Cat where people are like, what do you think about Blair White? What do you think about Andy Worski? What do you think about Armored Skeptic? And I'm like, I don't keep up with any of these people anymore. I'm over that shit now. And I know I spent a lot of time sort of talking about these people, so maybe that's why I still get a lot of questions about it, but I just don't know. I don't even know what's going on these days. Yes, Snapple. I think that is the wrong way to react to that. If someone tells you that you hurt them, saying like, I didn't mean to, so you shouldn't be upset, is not. It's not rational. It's also not compassionate. It's not kind. So, that's just like basic human decency. Like, whether or not you meant to hurt someone, if you did hurt someone, you should care about that, and you should want that not to happen. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's one of the struggles if you have something like Asperger's. But even if you have Asperger's, you should care about not pissing people off. I know it's harder for sure, but the problem is when you don't care, and it becomes very clear that some people don't care. Like, people say that people think that they should. You should like understand them, and they're not going to change their principles because if they didn't mean to, it's not their fault if other people get harmed. And that's just like a pretty shitty mentality. I don't want to speak too much about like disabilities and mental illnesses and behavioral issues and stuff like that, but I don't like when people get into the mindset where shitty behavior is excused by disabilities or by mental illness or things like that. Like, I don't think that's a good way to say it. And in fact, I think I don't know much about autism or Asperger's, but I know that sometimes people use other conditions as excuses to be shitty to people. And that makes I'm not very comfortable with that. But like I said, I don't want to talk too much about it because I can very quickly be outside of my lane. I don't think I've ever seen Destiny interact with a person in a normal situation. That's another problem when you're talking about like creators and YouTubers and streamers. They're always like they're always on, they're performing. So a lot of times the way that they'll act will be sort of an exaggerated version, and it's hard to tell what they're sincere about and what their true motivation is. But I mean, very clearly, Destiny is fine with like just literally ridiculing people to their face. Destiny, if it's the same person I'm thinking of, is a YouTuber and streamer who mostly known for being a gamer, but he also talks about politics and stuff all the time. And he became sort of well known for doing a series of debates on his stream and YouTube channel with a lot of crazy people. Well, I don't want to say crazy, but like just a lot of people with really wild beliefs, like white nationalists and alt-right people and pro-pedophilia people and stuff like that. And he's like a really smart guy. He's a really knowledgeable guy, but he's also like very memey, very sort of like edgelordy type person. Makes like offensive jokes, and he likes to call people retarded and stuff like that. I don't know. He may have stopped doing that, but he's a leftist, I guess, for the most part. And he's very smart, and he's good at debating, and he knows a lot about politics and stuff. So his debates are usually like, if you're like looking for good arguments to use against the right, his debates are very educational for that point. But a lot of people find him very problematic for obvious reasons. Overall, I'm okay with Destiny. I'm not here to fucking judge him. I think that he's smart, and I think he generally has the right idea about stuff. But it's not. I'm not gonna sit and watch his stream all day because that's not my jam. But I can see how some people would just be completely not into it. What do you think about the use of racism, homophobia, and other bigotry in world building in games? I saw a couple of people condemning Witcher for it, and always got a different message from that game. Well, I haven't played Witcher. Are you saying that they make the characters in the game racist and homophobic, or I don't understand what you mean exactly. Are you saying that like the themes of the developers are racist, or like the actual characters in the game are racist and homophobic? You understand that Shoonhead exaggerates to make a point, don't you? Are you talking to me? Did I miss something? When did we start talking about Shoonhead? People were complaining about the overuse of slurs and casual themes of oppression. Well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I don't think that I would never argue that a, a an artist or a creator shouldn't have put something in their creation. Like I don't think that's an appropriate argument to make. Um so I don't know about that. I mean, I think a lot of times there's just sort of an exploitative quality where they put stuff in a game or in a movie or something just cuz it's controversial. But I think there are um, legitimate uses to really solidify what's going on in a certain world. Like, you know, a good example is Quentin Tarantino has been criticized for how often the N word is in all of his movies. But to me, it's like I mean, y'all probably know, fucking people use the N word. Black people definitely use the N word. White people use the N word too. Like it's a thing that happens in real life, a lot. So to me, it's like, uh, you're just sort of like reflecting a thing that happens, and you're really showing the audience what kind of people these people are. Like in the movie Pulp Fiction, you know, the character played by Quentin Tarantino, I think his name's Jimmy. No, what's his name? Maybe Jimmy. But he's like this guy. He's like this suburban guy, but just casually uses the N word. And to me, like I thought that was interesting or clever because, as far as we know, this guy doesn't. You know, he's perfectly a normal dude. Like obviously, he's friends with hitmen, but um, if we didn't hear him saying the N word over and over again, we would probably think that he's just a normal, decent dude. But we know that he's like kind of a dick. Just from that, maybe there's other ways to do that, but I think that was an effective way to sort of portray that. Did I see Sean's latest video? Nope. I don't think so. Which one was that about? Shout out to Sean, 118,000 subscribers. Oh, the Doom video? I have not. I didn't even see that he made that. That might be interesting. Sean, I really like Sean's videos. He has a very soothing voice. He talks kind of slow though. I have to like speed up his videos to like 1.5 speed. I like Sean because he's one of those people that has become successful literally just on the strength of his content. Like it's just good, and it's well made, and people like it, and I like that. There's no gimmicks on Sean's channel. There's no tricks or gimmicks. It's just a bunch of good videos. He is calm too, and I like that too, because I'm pretty calm. And a lot of times it seems like you have to be like this super energetic, screaming dude in order to get any attention on the internet. So it's cool to see that someone's doing well, being calm. We watch almost everything on 1.5 speed. Yeah, I mean it depends. If it's something that's long and I want to get through it quickly, I definitely do. But sometimes I want to hear it as it was meant to be heard. I need to get my overlay for the stream back. I have a lot of my old assets on my old hard drive, and I bought an adapter so I could plug it in to the USB port, but it didn't work. I think I may have bought the wrong adapter. But also, I fear that the hard drive might just be busted, and maybe that's what made my computer stop working before. I was thinking it was like the power supply or the motherboard, but like I tested the power supply and it didn't seem to be the problem. So I don't know. If that's fine. I mean, if I can't access the hard drive though, that's fine. I'll just make new assets. Although there's a few things that I really need to get access to. Like I need like my old, I need like my logos and shit. Like my branding. Like I don't want to have to remake my branding. I mean, I guess I could copy it again, but it would be nice just to have the file. Love to see a live stream between you, Sean, and H-Bomb. I would love to do it if they wanted to. Does Sean do live streams? I know Sean streams on Twitch, but other than that, I don't think I've ever seen Sean do a live stream. But yeah, I'm working on. I think I'm gonna make a new intro for my videos. I've just been trying some different stuff. I think it's gonna be similar to the old one, you know, like with the faces and the guitar strum. But I think I'm gonna change it up. I was like looking up, you know, like templates for intros, like Adobe After Effects and stuff like that, where they make all these like fancy 3D intros, but all of them are just like too much. I don't want, like, I want it to be very understated. You want to see a live stream with the one janitor and tipsy bartender? I don't know that much about Tipsy Bartender. I've seen like just some of their viral videos. What about them Nike ads? I've seen the Colin Kaepernick picture. I don't know what else they're gonna do. I haven't seen anything else. I support Kaepernick though, so whatever. I was in a live stream with H Bomber Guy before. If you guys didn't see, it was like a big group live stream called Soy Stream, or at least that's the title. But it was me, H Bomber Guy, ContraPoints, Lindsay Ellis, Dan Olson, and Claudia Brown. I think that was it. So it was like a big like like super group of left tube on one stream at once. I haven't seen the. I guess. No, I haven't seen the full ad. I've just seen a picture. So I guess I'm gonna try to film this video tonight. I didn't really want to because I don't have all of my stuff. I don't have my some of the assets I want to use in the video, and I'm not finished making my set. But I feel like it's been too long since my last video, and I really don't want to wait another week. But hopefully I get back on track, making the content more regular. I actually lost a bunch of patrons, I think mainly because the videos it's been just so long. I've only made like one video in the past like 2 months. That was mainly because my computer broke down, but also, you know, even since the last video, it's been like 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, Nike's Nike. Companies are companies. At the end of the day, their goal is to make money, and they're not going to do anything that they think is going to lose them money. But I definitely, I think it's worth mentioning that a company would choose to work with a controversial figure that they know is going to bring controversy to them, especially a controversial figure that's right. Because, you know, companies are companies, but these companies are still run by human beings. There's still people there. There's still human people in those boardrooms, in those pitch meetings, in those creative departments. Those are still people. Like, they're not robots, you know, programmed to make money. They're not like must make money at all costs. Like, they're actual people. And these are people with viewpoints and ideas. And, you know, they have to make the call, or at least someone has to make the call to say, hey, we're going to put out this message. We're going to get political for a second. And so I think that's worth mentioning. You know, as far as we know, you know, I don't know that this happened. It probably didn't happen, but I can think of a situation where, like, hey, maybe there's someone who actually really believes in the message that Colin Kaepernick is sending out there. So they want Nike to work with Colin Kaepernick and sort of make that statement. So, but because they work for a fucking multinational corporation, they have to convince someone that it's going to make them money. So, you know, they put together a thing to show to somebody to say, hey, this will make you money. So at the end of the day, you know, they're there to make money, but maybe someone got a message out, you know, through their company and through the huge platform that their company has. Things like that happen in companies, you know, because there's people there. There's still people there, and people that have convictions and goals and opinions. This is the best we get under capitalism. No, you shouldn't be looking to corporations for that kind of thing anyway. There are other entities in in the world besides corporations. I don't even know who Maxim Beatty is. Maxim Badi. And I don't think that neither me... Oh, Body. Yeah, I know him. That dude's funny. I don't think that Shoe Head would be interested in a debate with me, nor would I be interested in a debate with her. I feel like I don't get the vibe from her that she wants to debate people. And I definitely don't want to debate people. I think public debates are dumb. Hello, god damn it. That's a very, very caustic name there. I don't know. Debates are I feel like debates, especially live public debates in front of an audience, are generally not useful. As has been pointed out by many people, debates are not ever, a contest to see who is the most right or whose opinion or whose argument is closer to the truth. It's just to see who is the best at debating, really. Who do I think wrote the New York Times op-ed? I have no idea. There's a theory that it was Mike Pence, but I don't know. I have no clue. I don't have any basis by which to even make a guess. Did I watch the latest Harris Peterson convo? I did not. That is not something that interests me. And a lot of times with debates too, it depends on the audience. That was one of the reasons why I said no to going to MythCon, because for those that don't know, they invited me to speak at MythCon, but one of the reasons I said no is because their idea was for me to debate somebody. And it's like, well, first of all, I don't want to do that at any convention, much less your stupid reactionary convention. Yeah, I can't even imagine how he would moderate the debate. How many subscribers does he have? 1.8 million, not bad. Yeah, I don't know that much about Maxim Body, but I think he's funny. What if it wasn't set up as a debate, but more as a discussion? Well, that's what they tried to do. The problem is when you say, "Hey, I want you to have a discussion with this person with whom you obviously disagree with on like most political issues." That's a debate. That's going to be a debate, and that's what they want it to be, is a debate. And I don't mind having discussions with people, but when there's an audience there, that's a debate. That's supposed to be a public debate. That's supposed to be a spectacle for the entertainment of the audience. And that's not, I'm not interested in that. But I'm happy to have a discussion. I've had many private discussions with people who I disagree with on things, and that's fine. What time is it where you guys are? Here is 2:44 p.m. If it was, I don't know. And a lot of the people that they see, like, it depends. If it was a discussion with people that I didn't think were ridiculous, then that might be different. Or if it was like a panel discussion where there was multiple people there and it wasn't just supposed to be this like one-on-one event live in front of an audience, that may be different. But also, I just don't want to debate people. Like, personally, I just don't think that would be fun for me to do. Some people like doing it. Some people are good at it. I don't think I would be good at it, and I don't think it would be fun. What do I think about Jordan Peterson? Someone asked this earlier. I don't know. I think he's the person that never says anything interesting or good. Last time someone made the point that he says a lot of the stuff that he says that seems obvious to me might be things that other young men have not heard before, which I guess is a fair point. But the problem is that he mixes that in with a lot of other like actual nonsense, if not like actually harmful, sort of misogynistic type stuff. So it's still kind of a problem. But overall, like basically everything Jordan Peterson says falls into like one of two or three categories. It's either like just obvious, like completely obvious and sort of like elementary style stuff where it's like being responsible is a good thing, stuff like that. Or it's just kind of just like gibberish, like nonsense. Or it's just like actual sort of like harmful made up stuff that just falls in line with the rest of the sort of reactionary right that's like being built up these days. So I don't really get the Jordan Peterson thing. But the thing about Jordan Peterson is whenever you criticize him, people are like, well, you haven't explored the entire body of his work, and you're taking him out of context based on bits and pieces of his writings and speeches. And it's like, well, if that's true, that sucks, because I'm not gonna look any further, really. I'm sure that he, he knows a lot about the field in which he works. But it seems like these days he talks a lot about a lot of things outside of that. My room is pretty messy. But, I don't know. That's just... I don't know. I've given Jordan Peterson a lot of chances. And he has like this thing where he starts talking and then it's like, well, I don't know, maybe he might be onto something here. He's sort of building up something that sounds halfway intelligent, and then he just always ruins it. He always just completely goes off the deep end with something just like completely just bizarre or ridiculous or just wrong. So I was like, okay, I think I'm done with this guy. Godspeed. I probably would have been into Jordan Peterson when I was like 16 or something. And to be fair, honestly, I think that's probably like his target audience is like fucking teenage and young adult males. What do you think about Destiny? We actually talked about Destiny not too long ago, or a few minutes ago. Guess you weren't here. I think that Destiny is very smart, and I think that if you're a person who is looking for cogent arguments to use against the right, he's a good person to look to because he's very good at. He's very knowledgeable about stuff. He actually knows a lot of stuff, but he's also very intelligent and good at forming arguments and good at pointing out the ridiculousness of a lot of the arguments of the right. But he also, beyond that, he's also just like sort of like a memey edgelord, and that's not appealing to me personally. If you're into that, that's cool, but that's not really my jam. So I don't think I would just like sit and watch his stream for hours. I just sort of click when I think he's doing something that seems interesting to me. He's also pretty good at League of Legends, which I respect. Do I ever submit articles to publications or even something like Medium? I really haven't. I've been thinking about doing that more because I want to write more and I want more opportunities to write. The problem is if I was ever going to write something for Medium, if there was something an idea that I wanted to get out, I would probably just make a video. So that's the thing. And my videos are actually like my job. They make money for me. So it's like, it's usually a better use of my time to put my writing towards a video rather than put it on Medium or something like that. Would you like to play any non-fighting game competitively? Sure. Depends on the game, I guess. I want to play chess competitively. I want to play poker competitively. I assume you're talking about video games. I have been playing a lot of League of Legends. I don't think I would want to be like professional. For one, I'm just too old for that now, but even if I wasn't, that just seems like hell. They just play the game for 10 hours every day. That seems hellacious. But the game does satisfy a competitive urge for me, so I like playing it, and I'm interested in trying to get good at it. It's pretty hard though. But yeah, I like any kind of competitive game as long as it's a good game. I think I'm the best at fighting games, so that I put more time into fighting games, and I understand them better than other types of games. I have tried Rocket League. Rocket League is fucking hard. Um, and I just don't have the time or patience to learn how to get good at Rocket League. It's pretty late, but what did you think about the iDubbbz N-word controversy? I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to it. Like, didn't he just like literally just walk up to Tana Mongeau and say the N-word? Is that the whole story? Because I mean, it just sounds like one of those things that is sort of like, you know, white dudes think it's funny, but he like basically completely like scared the shit out of this girl. Like, why the fuck did you do that? I don't know, man. That's another, you know, iDubbbz is another example of sort of like a meme edgelord, and I'm just not into that at all. I used to be into that sort of shit, like these just edgy dudes that are just like kind of assholes, but you kind of think it's cool because they're like they don't give a fuck. But I'm not into that anymore. Like, I guess I'm old now. I just don't think that that's funny or useful. Like, it kind of is cringy to me, and it's like, why are you being such an asshole? Why are you being so weird? Why are you trying to be so edgy and shocking? Like, fucking calm down. Like, iDubbbz is probably not racist, but, you know, he's just trying to be he's trying to be edgy, you know? I haven't played too many board games. Um, I used to play trading card games like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh, but I stopped. And I never really got very good at those either. I'm pretty terrible at League of Legends. I try so hard. I just don't understand what I'm supposed to do in the game. I'm like really close to getting gold, but I just can't. It's just I keep getting stuck. The only game that I was actually seriously, you know, competitive at is Smash Brothers. I can play other fighting games like decent enough to where I can get like a good win rate online. But the only game that I could actually compete in live tournaments and actually do well and possibly make money in is Smash Brothers. Yes, competitive Smash it can get, especially if you're talking about Melee. Competitive Melee is fucking ridiculous. I was never that good at Melee. My games were Brawl and Smash 4. Uh, but yeah, competitive Smash is crazy. Well, that's sort of like the thing, Snapple, that I was talking about in my most recent video about. I think that it's just useful to call out racist behavior and less useful to try to call people a racist, because it's very easy for someone to deny that they're a racist because they're probably not a racist. But you can still say that the thing that they did was racist. Like, obviously, saying the N word is racist. Like, I don't think that's controversial, and it's a thing that I don't think you should have did, obviously. But you know, at the end of the day, it's like, to me, that's not the issue. It's like the issue to me is like, why are you like that? Stop being like that. Yeah, I agree that Smash is harder. The thing about it is Smash has a much lower barrier of entry. Like anybody can pick up Smash and start playing and randomly win and stuff like that. But in order to be good, I think it has a much higher skill cap than other fighting games for sure. Speaking of Tana Mojo, I watched the Shane Dawson documentary about TanaCon and it like made me like her. Like at first I was like, I don't give a fuck about this little girl. Like what the fuck? She's weird. But then I watched the documentary and people were like, yeah, it was designed to do that because she's her friend. So maybe that's why. Maybe I just got tricked. But after watching it, I was like, aw, she's just a she's just a sweet little girl. Well, she's not like a sweet little girl, but she's just like she's just an ignorant young girl who like has good intentions, but she doesn't know how to act because she's 20 years old. At least that's the thing that I got from it. But maybe it was designed by Shane Dawson to make me like her. Yeah, in Smash Brothers Brawl though, like I was actually top 10 in Alabama, which is not saying much. Alabama's not the strongest state, but still, like I was wrecking people for a minute. And I'm pretty like I'm not nowhere near one of the best melee players, but I'm good enough to where I could probably beat like 90% of people. Uh, just because they you know they've never practiced as much as I did. I try very hard not to prejudge people based on like their reputation. And I think that happens with a lot of YouTubers where people like they just kind of assume that YouTubers are trash just because they're YouTubers and just because they're popular. And I try to not to do that. And I think that's kind of what happens with Tana Monjo. I mean, maybe she deserves it, but I don't ever watch her videos. But you know, if you put someone in a certain light, you can sort of get a different view of them. Like I remember, like people used to talk so much shit, or I used to hear people talk a lot of shit about Liza Koshy. Like, oh, I don't understand why she's so famous. Her videos are fucking stupid, and she's not that funny. And you know, people just kind of say that about anyone who's popular. But then I like watched her videos, and I love Liza Koshy, dude. She's funny as fuck, and she's just I don't know, she's super funny. So like I try not to. Same thing with Jenna Marbles. Like when Jenna Marbles was first blowing up, everyone was like, I don't fucking get why Jenna Marbles is so popular. She's not that funny. But then I watched it and I was like, I love Jenna Marbles. Like to this day, Jenna Marbles is one of my favorite YouTube channels. So I try not to like just hastily judge people before I give them a chance. I think Shane Dawson is pretty funny. But the thing with Shane Dawson is he's made a lot of mistakes in the past that he's owned up to and he's like talked about a lot. So I mean I sort of respect him for that. I think his videos are sort of not I don't think I'm the demographic for his videos, but I think he's a funny person in general. Like whenever I see him doing an interview or like talking to people, or if he's like a guest on a channel that I do watch, he's like always funny. But usually the videos on his channel are like not stuff that I usually want to watch. I love Jenna Marbles. It's one of my favorites. Have I seen BoJack Horseman? I actually haven't. I was actually thinking about that today. I made a list of shows that I want to watch that I either have not watched in full or I haven't watched at all. And BoJack Horseman is on that list. Another one is Community. I've never seen a full episode. Well, I've seen like maybe like 2 full episodes of Community. And I've seen a bunch of clips. And I don't... Like, usually if I see a clip of a show and I'm like, man, that looks really funny, I'm going to watch that. That's usually what happens with sitcoms. But with Community, it doesn't look that funny to me. But everybody loves Community. So I feel like I should give it a chance. Jax Films shitting on her dogs. Yeah. Jax Films is also a good YouTube channel. Do you think people on the left sometimes stop caring about actually important issues in response to the right, using them as a way to divert discourse? Sometimes stop caring. I mean, I guess sometimes. I think there's some. I think it's just about strategy for a lot of people. People will take advantage of the situation in order to advance the agenda that they are advancing at the time. Atlanta's a better show than Community. I mean, that's fair, I guess. It seems like it's a very different type of show. I don't know if the comparison is apt. I actually haven't seen all of Atlanta either, so I need to put that on the list. I'm a fan of Niga Higa. I haven't watched Niga Higa in a long time, but I'm generally a fan. I think he's like a super talented person. But I haven't watched in a while. Yeah, It's Always Sunny is always good. To me, like, It's Always Sunny is just, it's one of those shows that you can just put on and you know it's going to be entertaining. But I don't think it's like a life-changing show or anything. You know, I don't think it's like a, you know, it's amazing. I think it's good though. Atlanta is the better Don Glover vehicle. Fair enough. Like I said, when I watch Community, when I watch like clips of it or what I've seen, like it seems fine, but it doesn't seem as good as people say it is. But I don't know. I could be missing some stuff. Like a lot of shows, you have to sort of watch for a while and then you sort of fall in love with the characters and then that's when you fully appreciate it. Like I get that. Like one of my top 3 favorite shows is Parks and Recreation. And I think if you just watch random clips of that show, you probably won't understand why it's so good. You have to watch it in order and fall in love with the characters. And then as the show goes on, that's when you really start to get it. So maybe it's like that with Community. Was it you that said the right is better at strategy? Probably, because I believe that. It's not even that the right is better at strategy. It's that the right is all about strategy. The right has no principles. Like, I guess that's not the right way to put it. Like the right is willing to bend principles in favor of strategy. The left is generally not. Like the left, for example, the left could have a very, very important ally, But if they like do something wrong, the left could completely, drop that person, hashtag cancel this person, which is very, very bad strategy wise. But the left is more about principles. The right, on the other hand, will completely support someone who's a complete maniac like Donald Trump or Milo Yiannopoulos or Alex Jones because it's useful to them. The left generally doesn't do stuff like that. We are going to stream for about 20 more minutes. We are pushing that 2-hour mark. Just so you know. This is like usually a good time to stream because by the time I get to the end of the stream, I'm usually hungry because it's like lunchtime, I guess. It's like late lunch, but I usually eat later than normal because I wake up later than most people. Arrested Development is also on my list. I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of Arrested Development. My list is all sitcoms, by the way. I pretty much only watch sitcoms. It's a lot for me to devote energy into a dramatic show. So I don't watch dramatic shows really. I don't see how people keep up with television. There are so many shows. I don't get it. And these are people with less free time than me. Yet these people just watch everything. Like, I don't get how you have that much time. Does Game of Thrones count as a sitcom? I don't think so. But again, I don't watch it, so maybe. I didn't think that Game of Thrones was designed to be funny. I'm sure there are funny moments, but I don't think that was the point of it. What time is it? It's 3:11 p.m. I don't know if my stream chat is delayed or if you're reading the comments late. You can try to refresh. Or, I mean, sometimes I am reading old comments. I'm not reading the comment like immediately after it comes off. But if it's like, 5 minutes after it's posted, then it's probably the stream. It's also possible that the comments are not popping up on my screen until late, which I wouldn't put it past YouTube because YouTube's live stream stuff is not perfect. 30 Rock, yes, I love 30 Rock. Before I watched Parks and Rec and The Office, 30 Rock was probably my favorite more modern sitcom. But I think it is clearly inferior to The Office and Parks and Rec. But it's good. It's very funny. And, it has great characters. Thirty Rock has like, I don't know. Tina Fey's humor is really weird to me. She's obviously like brilliant and funny. And like the show is laugh out loud funny. But her humor to me just seems like it's just her. And this is not just that show. It's like everything she does just seems to be her working through her issues with her own white guilt and white privilege. Like all of her comedy is like that. Like if you look through 30 Rock, just like watch through 30 Rock, there are so many racial jokes in that show. It's pretty crazy. And if you even like the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I don't know what her what level of impact she has on the writing on that show. I guess she writes on it, but that show there's a lot of like random racial humor. Do you think Trump will get elected? I don't think he will, but I didn't think he would the first time. So what do I know? Would you ever want to live beyond Thunderdome? I don't know what that means. Is that a Mad Max reference? I've never seen Mad Max. Yeah. But yeah, I like 30 Rock. I like the classic sitcoms. I love sitcoms. If that's something you don't know about me, that's like one of the defining aspects of my personality is I love comedy and I love sitcoms. So I'm down to just watch a sitcom. And I've watched a lot of random sitcoms, and there's a lot of ones that other people think are bad that I like, or ones that I think are bad but I still like them. I just like the idea of sitcoms. I like the idea of writing jokes. I like the idea of building characters through comedy. Like, it's just really cool to me. Like, I think a dream job of mine would be to write on a sitcom. Like, that would be really cool. Name some of the bad ones. Or the ones that other people think are bad, the ones that I think are bad. There's this show called Melissa and Joey. Have you watched that? It's a bad sitcom, but I like it a lot. It's on like ABC Family, I think. It doesn't come on anymore, but I think they still show it. It was with Melissa Joan Hart and Joey Lawrence. But yeah, it's a bad sitcom, but I like it a lot. I think the quintessential example of a sitcom that everybody hates that I like is The Big Bang Theory. I honestly think that show is fine. I think I don't like. A lot of times I find myself getting into positions where I'm like defending The Big Bang Theory because I think a lot of criticism of it comes from people that don't actually watch it, and don't know that much about it. But then I'm like, I catch myself and I'm like, I'm sitting here spending my time defending The Big Bang Theory. Like, is it really worth it? Probably not. Now there are some shows that are just bad that I hate. Like 2.5 Men was really bad. Fucking what was the show? I can't even remember. There's some shows that are pretty bad. Some shows are bad but okay, and other shows are just bad. See, that is a common criticism of The Big Bang Theory, but I don't think that it is supported by the actual content of the show. That it makes fun of nerds. I don't think it makes fun of nerds, and this is sort of what I was talking about. It's like, are people actually watching the show, or are they just like seeing clips? Yeah, I mean, I've seen that video about the misogyny in Big Bang Theory. Um, the my response to that is all sitcoms are made up of sociopaths. So I don't think it's unique to Big Bang Theory. I think all sitcoms, all of the characters in all sitcoms are sociopaths. Nerds as in geeks or nerds as in book geeks? Well, I don't know. In the Big Bang Theory, there are like a lot of different characters that are sort of into different things. Like the thing that binds them all together is that they're all sort of like science nerds and they're all like scientists and stuff. But they're all into different things. There's the one character, Sheldon, which is sort of like the breakout character of the show. And I think this is what makes people hate the show is because Electro Main 222, I'm out.
I'm out T1J. Here
Thank
is
you.
one for the road. I appreciate you.
But yeah, the character Sheldon, I think that people think that Sheldon is the whole show. Because if Sheldon is the only character that you're familiar with, then I could see why you might think that the show is making fun of nerds. But Sheldon's just one character, you know? But Sheldon is like this really fucking awkward, obnoxious character who like thinks he's better than everybody else. And he sort of is, he's like the all around nerd. Like he's into basically everything that's stereotypically nerdy. He's into science, video games, literature, movies, comic books. But I think that's his character. Like his character is this guy who desperately wants to be perceived as the smartest and most knowledgeable person in the room. So it sort of makes sense that he would like know or pretend to know everything about everything. And yeah, that's like he's supposed to be obnoxious. But I think that a lot of people see Sheldon and they think that that is what the writers think nerds are. But there's like so many characters on the show. And they're all different, and they're all none of them are portrayed as negatively as Sheldon is, like ever. That's why I don't necessarily think that the show is making fun of nerds, because Sheldon is really the only one that like constantly gets made fun of. But like I said, I'm here defending the Big Bang Theory again, and that's not the hill that I want to fight and die on. Really, it really isn't. It is similar to Dwight from The Office. But Sheldon also has the stereotypical like social anxiety and you know, a lot of people say that he's coded as autistic, as Snapple says. The way I see it is like if the writers say he's not autistic, then he's not autistic. That's the thing with fictional characters. Fictional characters are supposed to be quirky and weird, and that's just how it goes. That one gaming dude, I remember you. $4.99. Thank you for the $4.99. I've been watching you ever since 6th grade. I'm a junior in high school now. Damn, you've been my favorite YouTuber for a long time. Whew. I appreciate that. So you've seen my channel evolve a lot, so I'm glad that you're still here. I appreciate it. If you're a junior in high school, interesting. 6th grade. I didn't even know people that young were watching. Would you ever listen to Baby Metal? I love Baby Metal. I've only heard like 3 Baby Metal songs, but I love all of them. And I don't really like J-pop or metal that much, but I just like it. Have I heard Gorillaz' new stuff? I've heard some songs. I haven't listened to the whole album yet. I don't know if you can. You probably could see that I'm wearing a Gorillaz shirt. Thought Baby Metal was more influenced by K-pop than J-pop. I don't know. It sounds more like J-pop to me. But I'm not definitely not an expert on that. I don't like the new Gorillaz album. All the music sounds the same from their new album. Well, I liked what I've heard, but I think that I have hit fanboy status when it comes to Gorillaz. Do you have anything like that where you're just at a point where you automatically like everything that a certain person or group puts out because you just become a fanboy? That's where I'm at with Gorillaz. That happens rarely, but it happens with a few things. Like, for example, Marvel movies, I'm just a fanboy. I will watch every Marvel movie and I will like every single one. Or like Tarantino movies, although to be fair, Tarantino movies are usually widely accepted to be good, but still, I'm going to like anything Tarantino puts out. Respect from... Yeah, they have gotten respect from real metal bands. And a lot of the metal a lot of the bands have sort of admonished their fans because their fans were like kind of hating on them. And I don't know, that it's an interesting conversation about, you know, what it means about like sort of gatekeeping in music. Because obviously these little girls don't know anything about the metal scene. Like this group was just put together to make by someone else to make a sound that was unique. But it seems that they enjoy what they're doing and they like making the music and they like performing. So why shouldn't they be able to if it's good? I was a big fan of Dell growing up. I don't know what the hell he's up to these days. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to be a tricky film. Why do you say that? I wonder if that's going to be... Because I don't know, like that's going to be kind of weird because, you know, Tarantino likes to put a light tone on really dark subjects. But this video is about like a thing that like happened to people that are still alive, you know? So it may be like too soon, you know? But we'll see. Like I said, I will watch anything Tarantino does. Do you think a different director could do a better job with this subject? Well, I don't know. Because I don't necessarily want to watch like a serious movie about the Manson murders either. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited for the movies. It definitely has a lot of like well known and good actors already like confirmed for the movie. Like that's pretty dope. Baby Metal said that they taught metalheads they can smile once in a while. I'm into that. But I'm gonna go in about 5 minutes. The chat sort of picked up again here, but I'm gonna go get some food here in a second. So we can probably like answer one more question if you have one, or make another comment. Thank you for coming to my stream as always. Like I said, I'm going to the beach. I should be back. The goal is to be back next Monday. I'm gonna try to film a video today. If I do, then it should be out within the next couple of days. If I don't, it will be next weekend probably when the video comes out. And I know it's been a while since the last video, but you know, what are you gonna do? Don't unsubscribe. I'm still here. I am gonna start streaming video games. So if you guys like video games and are interested in watching me play video games, subscribe to my twitch.tv channel. I don't know, maybe I should just play them on this channel. Anyway, I'm gonna do it on Twitch for now. Twitch.tv/theonejanitor. Or follow. I don't think you subscribe on there. Not yet. Zen Cowboy, thank you for the $1. Thoughts on politician? What is politician? Is that a thing, or you just mean politicians in general? I will have fun at the beach. I went to the beach last year with the same group of people, and it was awesome. It was like the most fun I'd had in a long time. Wish I could throw more your way, but times are tight. That's perfectly fine. I appreciate it. If anybody would like to support me in a more long-term basis, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Like that's like the absolute best way to support this channel. Even $1 a month goes a long way. So that would be great. Politicon. I don't know what Politicon is. Is that a convention? Annual nonpartisan political convention. Interesting. I didn't even know that was a thing. Please don't pollute this channel with gaming stuff. LOL. It would only be streams. I wouldn't make gaming videos. And even sometimes I stream like chess and poker on this channel. But it'll probably be on Twitch. The only problem with Twitch is if I develop an audience on Twitch, and if I ever become partnered on Twitch, I cannot stream on YouTube because it's like against the rules. You can only stream. Well, I think I may be able to stream as long as it's not gaming. I'll have to like contact them about them. So that's the only problem with Twitch, and I'm not gonna leave YouTube. So if I do like build my Twitch channel up and become partnered, I may have to stop streaming on YouTube. Although I think I may still be able to, because as long as it's not gaming. I actually have a gaming channel, but I don't know. It doesn't have as much exposure, so streaming on there would, no one would be watching. Like on this channel, I can just go live and 30 people will just show up, which is, it's good. On the other channel, it wouldn't happen. But I guess I could try to build it up. I really have no intention of trying to build up another YouTube channel though, to be honest. Although I do want to start posting on my second channel again. Look out for that too. I have another channel that's supposed to be just for like random, like less edited things. And I used to use it, but I kind of stopped using it. But I'm gonna start using it again. It's youtube.com/the2janitor. So check that out. I'm gonna start posting there again pretty soon. So there should be some. I'm getting back onto the groove of making regular content. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me as I like figure this shit out. But I guess I'm gonna go now. Follow me on Twitter. If you have Twitter, please follow me there. That is probably the best way to keep up with me on a regular basis. I guess that's it. Bye.